Hey guys, today I wanted to talk to you about standard tuning on the guitar, which is something that a lot of guitarists know about but don't really know how it works. Most of us start with tuning the guitar, so we know the names of the strings, we know that it has to match an E when you're playing an E string, and so on and so forth. But why does this standard tuning work? That's the question we're going to try and answer today. Okay. Before that, let's define three terms, okay, that will help us understand this better. First is shape, okay. A shape is something or a pattern that you can move around. Due to standard tuning, we can make easy shapes that are movable very easily, okay. So if you know how to play an F major chord, you know that if you move it a semitone or half step ahead, one fret ahead, becomes F sharp major or G flat major. A semitone ahead of F sharp or G flat is G. A semitone ahead is G sharp or A flat. Same thing with your A shape bar chords. After A first fret, it's A sharp or B flat major, B major, C major, C sharp or D flat major. You get the point. So I'm using the same shape, just moving it around. That's what a shape is, a pattern that is movable. The second word we want to define is interval. Now, like the name suggests, interval means a gap between something. If I just play C for you, that's not an interval, it's not a gap, right? It is a place, a destination, a note. But if I play C to D, that's an interval. It's a gap between two notes. And most of you probably know of semitones and tones or whole steps and half steps, right? So if it's a fret away, that's a semitone or half step. If it's when you skip a fret, it's a tone or a whole step. So here C to D is a whole step or a tone because we skip C sharp. Okay, and that's how the major scale formula is born. So C tone D, D tone E, E semitone F, F tone G, G tone A tone B, B semitone C. And that's your major scale. And different scales will have different formulae. Okay, thinking about the formula can help you make the major scale on the fly sometimes. All right, so that's our concept of intervals understood. Gap between notes. Now, the third one essentially is degrees. Now I'll give you a little second here to think about what degree might mean. Okay, see if you can come up with the answer. What do you think? Okay, let's hope it's right. So, a degree is basically the position of a note within a scale. So, if I play C major scale, C is the first degree, it's the first note. D, second note, second degree. E, third note, third degree. F, fourth. G, fifth. A, sixth. B, seventh. C, back to tonic or eighth, right? So that's degree, the position of a note within a scale. Okay, now using these three terms, let's figure out how our guitar is actually tuned. Okay, excuse the lack of my high E string, but we'll make do without it. Okay, let's start with low E, for example. So E is a note, not a distance, not a interval, right? So what we want to check is, what's the distance from E to A, the next string? If we don't know our E major or E minor scales very well, right, then we should try and use the circle of fifths to check fourths and fifths both. I will make a video somewhere in the future to explain what the circle of fifths is and how useful it is. Okay, but for now, just count on your fingers since it's all natural notes. E, F, G, A. So A is the fourth of E. okay? E to A is a fourth, okay? And we call that a perfect fourth. You can look that up, okay? It's a quality of an interval, like just like major or minor, but fourths are perfect. So that's E to A, it's a perfect fourth. What about D to, A to D, A, B, C, D, also fourth, a perfect fourth. What about D to G, D, E, F, G, again a perfect fourth. Now what happens G to B? Can you measure the distance? I'll give you a little pause and tell me what's the distance between G to B. Let's see how long it takes for you to come up with the answer. Got it? Okay, I'll tell you. G, A, B, third, right? And then the last one, E, B to E, B, C, D, E, again a fourth. So when you look downwards, all your strings are tuned in fourths except G to B, which is tuned in a third, okay? This is just us talking about the position of the note in the scale. We don't know if it's a major third, minor third yet, but I'll tell you it's a major third, okay? Make sure, if you know your G major chord, if you can play your G major chord, look at the notes that it has. It has a B. So that means that's the major third, G, A, B, the major third of G. So G to B is a major third. Everything else downwards from E to A to D, D to G, G to B, B to E is a perfect fourth except G to B, right? So this is how standard tuning works, and this helps us play easy shapes that help our fingers reach notes quickly and without too much stretching. So this is the basic idea of standard tuning, okay? I will try and make a video on the circle of fifths so that we can have our scales in our head instantaneously so as to identify the fifth and more. And I hope you enjoyed this video and it gave you some insight into why the guitar is tuned the way that it is when it comes to standard tuning. Thank you and see you later.